To begin this lesson, open the Shining Stone sample file from your Sample Files folder. And open the code behind file of by.aspx. As well as setting the value of a string, as you did in Lesson 5.2, you can join two strings together using a plus sign. Joining two strings together is also called concatenation. We are now going to add some code to join two strings together. Add a new line after the line string address1 equals textboxaddress1.text and add the following code. Address1 equals an HTML break tag plus address1. This code will add an HTML break tag to the beginning of the address1 string variable. You learned about the HTML break tag in Lesson 2.2. View the page in your browser, fill in the required fields appropriately, and click Submit Order. As you can see, the address1 string is now displayed on its own line because of the HTML break tag you added to it. Close your web browser now. C#'s string variables offer a number of useful properties and methods. One of the most useful properties is length. Add a new line at the end of the button Submit Order click event handler. And add the following code. Response.write, an opening bracket, plus address1.length, plus a closing bracket. You're actually joining three strings together here: an opening bracket, the length property of the string, and a closing bracket. This will show the length, that is, the number of characters, of the string in brackets. View the page in your browser, fill in the required fields as before, and click Submit Order. This time you can see the length of the text you entered in brackets after the text, plus 5. The 5 is the number of characters in the break tag. Close your browser now. We are now going to use the toUpper method of the string variable to make a string all uppercase. Replace response.write address1 with response.write address1 dot toUpper. View the page in your browser again and test it in the same way as you have previously. This time you can see that the address1 text is displayed in all uppercase. You can use the toLower method in exactly the same way to make a string all lowercase. toUpper and toLower are both methods of the string type. You'll learn more about methods in Lesson 6.5. Some other useful methods of string variables are contains, which checks whether a string contains a certain piece of text, index of, which searches for a piece of text inside the string and tells you its position in the string, and split, which splits a string into several strings separated by the character you choose. Close your web browser now. Another useful method is replace, which you can use to replace letters inside a string. We're going to use the replace method to remove all of the spaces from a string. Add a new line after the line that adds the break tag, and add the following code. address1 equals address1 dot replace, then a space inside inverted commas, then a comma, and then an empty pair of inverted commas. This code will remove all of the spaces from the address1 string. By changing the contents of the two sets of inverted commas, you can replace any part of the string with any other string. View the page in your browser and test it again. Make sure you enter some text with spaces into the address1 text box. As you can see, all of the spaces are removed from the string when it is displayed on the page. Close your web browser now. Note that if you look carefully in the IntelliSense menu when typing string, you'll notice that there's an entry for string with a capital S. In code, string with a capital S means exactly the same thing as string with a lowercase s. So which is the better writing style? All of Microsoft's examples use the lowercase version, and for this reason I've used the same in the examples in this course. However, there's also a very good argument to suggest that the uppercase version represents better coding practice, because string with a capital S is the real name of the string type in the .NET library. There are similar alternative names for some of the other variable types, as you will see later in this session. Note that you could create a string variable without a value using something like string testString. You might expect this to be the same as string testString equals an empty set of inverted commas, but it is actually completely different. The first example would create a string with a null value, while the second would create an empty string. You'll learn more about null in Lesson 5.12. Remove all of the code from the Button Submit Order Click Event handler. You've now completed Lesson 5.3. Use string variable properties and methods.